Today's best music.
Magic 89.9.
He's on Boys Night Out.
The worst of the worst, Boys Night Out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on Boys Night Out, Illmind. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you.
How you doing?
Thank you guys so much. It's 5 a.m. right now, so I just woke up and I'm super excited to connect with you guys, talk to you guys, and it's an honor to be here, seriously.
No, it's an honor for us.
I'm on the same time zone as you. I'm on,
Are you?
Bill, I'm in Toronto right now. I got stuck, so...
You look like you're in Starbucks again, Tones.
Yeah.
Stop lying to us, Tones. He's just there for the Wi-Fi.
Stop using Wi-Fi at Starbucks. Stop using Starbucks Wi-Fi, Tones. You're doing the Filipino style.
You know how Filipinos are. We try to find a way, the least way of making an expense. And
It's not your co-working space, Tones. Your
No,
co-working
that's not a co-working
space.
space. I know where he's at. He's at a dispensary.
Starbucks was nice enough to let me to be a hobo inside their store. So
yeah, so he's gonna stay there for like 4
basically-
hours with just one cup of coffee.
Very, very Pinoy. All right, so please, for those that don't know, I mean, you are a GOAT. You are probably one of the most influential, if not inspiring producers in hip hop. You know, hip hop is celebrating 48 years now, and you've been part of that, maybe more than half of it. So for those that don't know, how did you get started?
Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. I got started from just falling in love with hip hop. You know, I know that sounds a little cliche, but you know, I was just surrounded by music growing up. My dad played guitar, rest in peace. He passed in 2010. And, you know, he had 3 brothers who also played instruments. So I remember on the weekends, you know, I'm from New Jersey. So on the weekends, my family would go up to the Bronx in New York. And it would be my dad playing guitar and my tito on the bass, another tito on the drums, another tito, singing. And I remember being a kid, and they would literally do this every weekend all night until like 6 a.m. And all my titas would be playing mahjong in the other room. And like, I would just be a
Pinoy
kid,
style.
real Pinoy. I would be
Pinoy style.
2, 3, 4 years old and running around at 3 a.m. And, you know, my parents are basically just like hanging out, and it was such a fun time. And that was a weekend thing that we used to do. And I would also go to, you know, my dad's gigs. So he played in a band. He played in a wedding band. So it was called Fame Band, Filipino American Music Entertainment. And he would do all the weddings, all the New Year's Eve parties. Yeah. And I would literally go with him. My brother and I would go with him, and we would be backstage and like Dad's a superstar, blah, blah. And everything was just about music when I was growing up. Like in my living room, there was just instruments everywhere. So one day, you know, I just had this curiosity, and I decided to just give it a try. And I started with watching my dad and mimicking, to then creating my own beats, and eventually buying my own, beat machines and having a computer, learning that way. And it just grew from there. And, you know, it was hip hop was my genre. I'm a rock guy too. I love 90s rock.
Yeah.
As a kid, growing up, rock in the 90s was the thing that was implanted in my brain, as well as hip hop. So those are sort of the 2 things that I loved, and it just never stopped ever since. So that's kind of where I got my start, my influence.
Fantastic. And let's do a proper intro for Gino, our boy. Station guy boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the second time around in less than 10 minutes. Boys and girls, children of all ages, for the millions and millions. Something doing.
Listening all over the world.
We have American rapper, singer,
Songwriter. I write songs. You write songs that make the whole world sing.
Joint Gang. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on Boys Night Out.
Boys Night Out.
Guapdad 4000. You know, we never rehearse these things. Ill and Guap, welcome on the show. I know it's early morning for us. It's roughly 6:05 in the Philippines. So thank you for coming out and waking up. If you weren't awake, well, thanks for staying up.
Oh yeah, I definitely haven't slept, but thank y'all for having me.
Well, congratulations on collaborating with Ill on your newest track as well, and all the success that you've done. I guess for people that don't know, especially the Filipino fans, how long have you been in the game? How did you get started?
I've been in the game for a while now. I started off as a party promoter in the Bay.
Oh, you're very Filipino, very Pinoy.
I'm true to this, not new to this.
I like that.
It was really because I was dressed and we had all this Versace and stuff. People thought that I was a rapper already, so I was like, we might as well just be rappers. Mm-hmm. So we started off doing that while we were throwing the parties, and it worked for me. So the group decided to focus on me, and I've been a rapper ever since.
Wow.
This was like 8-9 years ago.
Okay,
how many people actually get to do that? Just like, oh, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
People think I'm a rapper. I'm going to be a rapper. Like, it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Basically, it's like you're living the dream. Right?
Yeah,
the dream.
I really wrote the dice, but it worked for me because I'm actually tight at it. A lot of people do make the same move, but they're not tight, so then it doesn't.
What was it? Do you think it was your charisma and maybe your the way you are as an individual, where you're such a hustler? You took action in it, because some people are promoters and they're promoters for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? With you used your network to sort of, ease your way in, and then, you did the work.
Yeah, charisma gets me in the door every time. Every time, charisma gets
Is that
me
more
in the
your?
door.
Is that more your Pinoy side? Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, is that your Pinoy side or the other side to you?
No, I think it's a mix of both.
Okay.
Because if you look at my family on my black side, they really all like that. And then if you sit, or if you go back home to the Philippines and talk to any of my uncles, they all like me too. Like they're the same.
So you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know there's probably a lot of people that maybe are just discovering your music. I mean, and you're talking about, say, your uncles here in the Philippines, and they're just realizing, wait, he is half Filipino. I mean, where's the connection to the Philippines?
My grandfather was a merchant marine, so he was stationed in a Longapo in Subic Bay.
Yeah.
And
okay, yeah.
So that's where my family was from, and he needed to get some. I think the story is he had a hole in his uniform and he needed to get it sewn up. So he looked for a place to do that, and he found my Lola.
Nice.
America. For some reason, he was like, "Yeah, let's go to Oakland."
Just a random
choice.
For Illmind, what about you? What are your roots when it comes to the Philippines? I know you were back here, I think just for I think a joke. Was it Jokoy?
Yeah, I was back there last year in January, a couple months before COVID hit. So I'm actually really thankful that that was one of my last like trips, and it was back in the Philippines before all this happened. So, but for me, my connection to the Philippines, I mean, my parents are both Filipino. My mom is from Pangasinan. My dad is from Batangas. They similar story. They basically came to America many years ago, and they met in Jersey City, which is funny. They met at a bar and had.
Oh yeah, that's very Pinoy. That's
they're at a bar. I'm pretty sure my dad was, was trying to court her with his guitar.
The music.
Yeah, that is Pinoy right there.
Yeah, he pulled
you gotta
that
use
card.
your talents,
So he bagged the number and had my brother and had myself, and we grew up in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Like my mom was a full-time nurse. She worked 16 hours a day, so she would work all day. My dad was like a struggling musician, and she would send money back home to her family, to the Philippines, every month. And that was kind of my start. But for me, like, I was just always, I remember growing up, I was just always surrounded by family, which I'm so like blessed and humbled to have experienced that upbringing. Like, I just remember in our house, we had like a 3-bedroom, like small house in Bloomfield. And I remember every year or every 2 years, there would be a new family member from the Philippines who would be living with us, like in the attic, right? And my room was connected to the attic upstairs. So it was weird. It was a weird setup because you can't get to the attic without going through this room, which was my bedroom. So it was my yeah. So first it was like my tito, it was my mom's brother, and then it was my cousins, and then my titas from my dad's side. And so like it was a gift and a curse because like it was like what the
no
like,
privacy whatsoever.
Yeah, like this is my room, get out of my room, man. But then it's like yeah, like there's always like new people here, it's always family. Like I would be able to like hang out with them and get to know them, and they would always cook food. Like there was just always someone around. And my mom was just always at work. My dad was like out, in and out. So it was like my brother and I were really fortunate to like at least like have family around and just like be really connected to that side or whatever. So that was like basically my upbringing.
I mean, it's nice is because both of your stories could resonate to anyone here, is because we do have family back in the States, living their life, sending money here, or vice versa, is they met up here and they're all in the States now. Yeah. And how did you guys end up, linking up?
You want to tell it, Guap? I mean, honestly, when I first met Guap, like first time we met in person, it almost felt like I knew him already, which is weird. I mean, look at us. We're wearing like the same color palette. Like we didn't plan this.
We're always in sync. We're always in sync.
That also. I was trying to wear that, bro. It's in the laundry,
you know
bro.
what? You missed your chance of being a rapper, Sam. You missed it.
Yeah.
This could have been it.
This could have been it.
But yeah, Guap, you want to tell them that story?
I remember, were we DMing or texting or something? But you were like, "Yo, I'm in LA. You should pull up. Let's have a session or whatever." I remember I told my manager like, "Yo, I'm going to meet Illmind. Let's go." So we came, and as soon as I walked in and looked up and seen your face, we just like hugged and laughed and shook hands. And it was like we had already been friends forever.
Yeah.
We did 4 songs that day. It was crazy.
In one day?
Yeah, I was only there for like 3 hours.
Wow.
I can't even write 4 lines in one day, man.
No, I remember it was a studio in LA, and Guap walked in with just like a pair of shorts and like I think you had slippers on. I don't remember, and like no shirt. And I was like, all right, this is
Yeah, that's how you're rolling. I mean business. You mean business. I mean business, man.
Rob, I'm disappointed you have a sweater on. You know, I mean, I was hoping that you'd have just, you know, your boxers. That would be so annoying. You know what I mean?
No, honestly, I was completely naked earlier, and my manager made me put on clothes.
Oh, okay.
And
You start dressing up. You gotta start dressing
This was
up.
management. It wasn't me. This was management.
We're up to you. That shirt wouldn't be
if
on.
it was Pinoy, you'd have, you know, that one tito that just has no shirt on, he's just scratching himself. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Beard hat.
comfortable
Rubbing
here.
his belly.
Yeah, exactly.
Belly rub.
So what's the process? I mean, is because you were there for 3 hours, you did 4 songs. I mean, what were you guys doing? Was it just so simple that, okay, you lay down the beats, or, you know, you had your lyrics down and, okay, let's see what we can do?
Well, the beats were pretty much already done, but I think it was just like the perfect storm, to be honest, because, you know, Guapdad came to the session. I had already been working that day in that room for a few hours, so I had cooked up, you know, some new beats. But I always have my hard drive, and my hard drive, like, not to sound funny or anything, but I literally have like more than 10,000 beats on my hard drive. It's ridiculous. Like, every genre,
That's not a joke.
yeah, like whatever song you're trying to make, like I probably
You'll have a beat for it.
I have it already. Like
Plug and play.
But
Yeah,
so
I love that segment that you have on Instagram where you get producers, just anyone, and then you just, you know, you showcase them on your IG live, and it's pretty interesting. I love that segment.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm always just trying to show love to the upcoming producers, like always. I love it. So, you know, honestly, it was very simple. We just vibed out. I played some beats, and, you know, whatever beats that Guap felt like, you know, he liked, I would just put to the side. And then he's so fast. Yeah, I'll let him speak on it, his process. But like, my engineer would load a beat up on Pro Tools, and he would like, you know, mumble outside for like a few minutes, and then he would say, okay, turn the mic on. So he would walk in there, and I remember he would do like two or three just like passes of just like from the top, nothing written, just from the top, 2 or 3 passes. And then he would come out and then, you know, start thinking of concepts, and then go back in and fine tune it. And it would basically be done. Like, you know, intro, first verse, pre-hook, hook, and then we would move on to the next one. And we knocked out 4 of those. And to me, all 4 are crazy, and they're not even on the album, you know? That's the crazy part. So anyway, yeah, like, Guap, tell them about your experience, because I can't even do it justice trying to describe it.
I mean, I like to word it. Ill is a person who can make any sound, and I'm a person who can rap any rap. So when you put us together, it's just it's really like the synergy is crazy. It's as easy as black and white. It's just right there on the newspaper, baby. Read it and read. That's it. It's anything that you want to do. It already exists in his catalog. So it's up to you as an artist to kind of adjust yourself to the sounds or to identify with that. So for somebody like me who can really adjust to anything, it's really about just picking the tightest beats and making something from it, because it's not hard to think about stuff.
Has it always been the case for you though? Like, I mean, did you kind of start writing songs in your head, like, you know, at a really young age, even before you started the whole promoting gig? Like, cause I mean, obviously for like normal people like us, like coming up with 4 songs in one day and just, you know, thinking of lyrics right off the bat is pretty much impossible. Like for us at least, but for you, like, was it something that you had to develop over the years, or was it kind of just like, you know, you woke up one day and then like, oh, you know what, I can go with any beat. Oh, I got this gift. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely knew that I was good, but I had to. My speed comes from when I was younger, people didn't want to give me a chance, like to get in the booth. But they'll entertain me like by saying, oh yeah, you could write a verse to this. Oh yeah, you could write a verse. And then as I'm writing my verse, they gonna pick another beat, and then I didn't have enough time. Yeah. And I was the young homie around a lot of older artists and people who are well accoladed from the Bay. So I was trying to catch up, man. I had to learn how to write fast. I had to learn how to top line and come up with my cadence and my mumbles really quick. So it's just one of those things that stuck. It just so happens that as a quick thinker in music, I happen to be kind of better at it than most people. So it works in my favor. But that came from like
the process.
Not believing.
When you're out of the booth, what's the process like? You're walking and or you're just chilling and it's you're observing. Yeah, I mean whatever is around you. Are you always on it?
Yeah, really. I do a lot of I write a lot in my notes. I got like as many beats as Ill got. I got notes in my phone and voice memos just all day, every day. Melodies, top lines, ideas, things I see on the street, colors I like, experiences. I always write everything down. Or like
there's one particular song I wanna ask you about. You know, I didn't know before this interview came. I had it in my Spotify. It was Gucci Pajamas with Charlie Wilson. And how the hell did you get that? I didn't know. I just put it in my wet bed folder. It's a
wet bed playlist.
That's my joint.
I did not know. I was just like, oh, Charlie Wilson. I put Charlie Wilson in, and it happened to be, oh, this is Guapdad 4000. Okay, wow. I just remember the name. And how did that come about? Like Gucci Pajamas.
So good,
man. I was I had some female company over my house.
I like that term. That's female company.
It's so professional. Got the female company in my house. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Charlie Wilson there? Was Charlie Wilson also there?
No, he wasn't. It was four of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Four. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we had a long night of meditation and togetherness, and then when I woke up in the morning,
what I call it.
Nice.
When I woke up in the morning, I was missing my pajamas. I was like, "Where are my pajamas at?" And they were stolen. So I wrote a whole song about it, and the people who produced the song happened to know Charlie Wilson, so I kind of like called their bluff. When we were thinking about who to do ad-libs on the song or to do backgrounds. Yeah. And everybody was talking about Ty Dolla $ign. I love Ty Dolla $ign, but I had already had a song with him. So I was like, Charlie Wilson, do it. Yeah. And he was like, oh, if you want Charlie, I can get you Charlie. All right. Oh. So I was like, all right, get him in. And he really got him. Charlie Wilson pulled up and has been one of my best friends and mentors ever since. I love Uncle Charlie. He's such a good dude. Such a good dude.
And that's great. And I want to know how you got Falcon. You know, I mean, I guess Ill can answer after. How did he got Illmind? So how did you get to coin the term? Are you carrying a falcon somewhere?
That's why I have female company that night, bro.
If you watch the music video that we just dropped, you gonna see me with a real falcon in there. I'm holding a falcon in there. But falcons are cool, man. That's it. I'm cool as a falcon. I'm fly as one too. So that's where it comes from. I'm a man of many nicknames. One of my nicknames is the Ferragamo Falcon. So
there we go.
I started out to just the Falcon, just because it sounds cooler.
And then how did you get that before after we got on air? Yeah. We were gonna get to that, like the titles, the Gucci Pajamas, Ferragamo Falcon.
Yeah,
we got to think of something for ourselves as well.
But who gave you the Guapdad 4000?
Oh yeah,
who was that? Was that you?
I gave it to myself. I was do you remember AIM? You remember AOL Instant Messenger?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of course. ASL.
Yeah, that was supposed to be. Yeah. That was supposed to be my.
You know ASL. Okay.
Yeah. I know ASL.
Okay.
Yeah, that was gonna be my screen name. So I was like,
oh, that was your chat name. Like it was Guapdad 4000. Oh.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to remember my screen name. Guapo.
Yes, Guapo. I couldn't think of anything tight with Pogi. Pogi just kind of sounded weird when I was trying to put dad at the end of it. It sounded weird.
Pogi Dad.
I think Guapdad sounds better.
Yeah, Guapdad sounds much better.
Yeah.
4,000. What's the 4,000? Was that the conkers that you've had? 4,000 at that time?
People you've meditated with, you know.
You just gotta have a number at the end of a screen name. It's not a screen name without a number.
Well, that's true.
Fair enough. Ill, how did you get did you actually name yourself?
No, I didn't. So I'll give you the story. It's real short. So when I started making beats, one of my good friends at the time was a DJ as well. So he would be one of the first people that I would show my beats to. And they weren't good. Like my early beats were not good. You know, they were whatever. And I would just make beats and I would show him. One day I was showing him my beats and we were in like high school. And one day I showed him some beats and he was like, man, these beats are sick. You have like an ill mind, man. Like your mind is ill, dude. I was like, oh, thanks. And then like that was the first time anyone ever complimented me on like my beats that I like used to never show anyone. Yeah. And that memory just stuck with me and I was like, ill mind. Oh, okay, cool. My ill mind. That's my name.
You should make it in Tagalog, like sakit ulo, right?
Sakit sa ulo. Sakit sa ulo. Doesn't have the same meaning, but yeah, I guess.
That's more, it got more girth to it.
Yeah, that's the aggressive one.
That's the aggressive.
That'd be like it's so ethnic, right? Girls be like, "Oh, sakit ulo, there he is."
I feel like my parents would say that to me, like when they get mad at me, like "Sakit ulo, go to your room."
Yeah,
like you know, people who don't have Filipino heritage wouldn't understand. They'd just be like, "Oh, that's so cool, sakit sa ulo." But like all Filipinos would be like, "I guess he was, you know, a hard-headed kid growing up."
Oh, he hard-headed too. Huh? Now, for you, Ills, because we heard how Guap, does his process. How about your process in say all the beats that you have? I mean, does it just come easy for you?
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
my process is definitely when I get in there, I literally like don't know what I'm gonna do that day or that moment. I just kind of go in there and play around, honestly. Like just after, making beats for so many years, I kind of like over the years created this habit of just like getting in there and treating it like an experiment. Yeah. So I like to just go in there and just play around. Like I don't really put any boundaries on myself. Like today I need to do a trap beat, or today I need to do like a boom bap beat or an R&B beat or whatever. It's like I'll just go in there and just feel everything out and play around with stuff, turn some knobs, play some chords, maybe like play a little guitar. Like I'm not really that good on guitar, so I'll just like play around, whatever. And I would just do it and just lay some ideas down and like that's it. And that process, that method has always like worked for me the best. And when I'm with an artist, like if I'm with Guapdad, it's so easy for me because like we said earlier, there's a good chance I have something in the stash, but if I don't, like I'm well equipped to make something from scratch. And I love working with artists who are also producers. Like Guap hasn't even told you guys, like he produces as well, so like he has that producer ear. So if he hears a certain texture for like a snare drum or a clap, he can articulate that to me, right? Whereas a lot of artists don't really know how to articulate that.
Won't be able to explain it properly, like what they want to hear. Yeah.
Exactly. So, so that would be my role in that environment as a producer, where when I'm with the artist, it would depend on, you know, what they're looking for, what we're trying to accomplish. How can I help bring the best out of this person based on what they're trying to accomplish for the next 6, 7, 8, 12 hours, you know, of that day. So yeah, that's my process. I always treat this as though I'm there to help this person achieve what they want to achieve.
Bring out the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to bring out the best. And sometimes I'm not even producing the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like I could be in there just as an ear and not even touch the beat and say, hey, like, we should get this person, or you know, go back in there and do those ad libs, but like pan them to the left and right and just let's see what that sounds like, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, that's sort of my role basically.
I want to ask Falcon here. You know, you've been in the game quite some time, and there's a lot of Filipino artists, especially in the Philippines, you know, that are also trying to, you know, break the ceiling, try to get into some sort of you know, recognition on the bigger stage. How do you, over the years, deal with disappointment? How do you deal with frustration?
Failure.
What in a few words can you say that keeps you going, and what have you done through the years? Obviously, you've evolved as an artist, as a producer. What's some of the tips that you can give other Filipino hip hop artists that are just stuck in the Philippines and they want to get their music out, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, and it's been quite some time for them?
Yeah. That's a good point to make. Is quite some time too, because I was making music for at least 6 years before I even had a look for anything.
Yeah.
And there was disappointment, there was tragedy in my life, deaths and big traumas for me. I feel like the main thing that I did that I could say is I didn't let any of that faze me. It's just all about putting your head down and marching forward and still working. We all suck at first. We all do. But you got to believe in yourself and your prowess to just keep going. And that's really what I did, man. I had people like try to put me in lame deals. I had people steal money from me, steal songs. I had people let me direct their whole music videos and did not give me credit. It was all type of stuff, but I never did bad business to anybody on my own part. And I always believed in myself and just worked harder. Like every time somebody told me no, I went back to the studio.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. You know,
yeah, we're gonna cry. Bust out the tissue, man. Bust out the tissue.
You're crying now.
Sorry, I had to put in scoring so it makes it more, more
impactful.
We gotta build the drama, man. We gotta build the drama here.
Love drama.
Sorry, I wanted to see you cry on online, so it didn't work. Sorry.
We tried our best. It's because like what we've always talked about here on the show is that everyone just sees the tip of the iceberg. They always just see, oh, this guy's already successful. They don't see how hard you guys work.
The struggle.
Yeah, the struggle. I mean, how about for you, Il?
Well,
I mean,
I was gonna just piggyback off of that. Well, first of all, Guap knew that you guys were gonna do this sad piano music and try to make him cry. That's why he's wearing those glasses. I just wanted
and it fogged up a bit. I was like, there's
a little bit of fog. Yeah, it's starting.
We see the fog. We see that fog.
I'm a big fan of your podcast, Il, and I know that you have a book that's out, and I love BLAP. I love what it stands for. I love the acronym. You know, belief, love, and action, and I believe positivity. You know, I mean, you speak on so many levels that not just as a producer, but as an entrepreneur, for young cats to really believe in themselves. And I caught that last year. And it was so profound that I was like, yo, this guy is more than just a producer. And I guess if you can also give us tips, you know, being Asian and in an industry filled, obviously, you know, you're a minority if you think about it, you know, being in the US of A, Asian, and then you're making beats and you're from the East Coast. You need some major hookups. Back in the 90s or 80s. How was that? How did you get through adversity, and what was the mindset?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the. Oh.
It's 5 a.m. Don't
get the Visine. Get the Visine. Just the jumpers.
You know what?
5:30 a.m.
There you go.
When I was coming up, but first of all, thank you for the kind words, Tony. So like when I was coming up, like being Filipino, like I was just treated as like, oh, he's like the Asian, you're like the Asian dude who like makes hip hop beats, right? And some, as a Filipino growing up, depending on where you grow up, like there's people that don't really know like what the Philippines is or who a Filipino is. Like, a lot of times we might be called like Chinese or Korean or Vietnamese, whatever. Which is fine, you know what I mean? But I remember my first manager when I first started, getting into the game. My first manager was this guy named Sha Money XL, who at the time was the president of G Unit Records. So 50 Cent, and all those guys. And this was when they were
G Unit.
Yeah, I missed their peak, but this was right when they were like about to just kind of like part ways or whatever.
Yeah.
And I entered a management deal with them. They were some of the first industry guys to like believe in me. And Sha Money, I remember the first meeting I had with him, the first thing he says to me was, "Man, your beats are fire, man. You're the Filipino fire." And like that like stuck with me because it was like, wow, you're talking about an executive who is the president of one of the hardest New York labels, one of the biggest artists of all time, 50 Cent. This guy is like a G from Queens, and he's calling me the Filipino fire. Like, if that does like, and I was wearing Timbs that day, right? Like, I'm wearing Timbs. I'm wearing my yellow Timbs, right, with the tongue out. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I got the XXL jeans. I'm going up to the office. You got Sha Money XL from G Unit calling me Filipino fire. I'm like, yeah. So that was the first moment for me. That was the first moment for me that come on, man. That was the first moment for me that like gave me that validation. Basically, it was like, you know what, like embrace this, just keep going on that path and you'll do it. And like, what you were saying earlier, Tony, about belief, love, action, positivity, like there's definitely no coincidence that's the acronym for a lot of what I believe in. And when I think about aspiring producers, aspiring musicians, aspiring singers, rappers in the Philippines, I empathize because I feel that. I feel, I put myself in their shoes, and it's like, yeah, we're all the way over here in the Philippines, and I can't just like jump on an airplane and go to LA and try to find artists to work with in America, or how do I gain access to certain people that can help me in my career? And I empathize with that, and I understand that. And my whole thing is, in my mind, my instinct tells me, well, we're Filipinos. Like, part of our DNA is to make something out of nothing, right? Like, we take things that we don't have and we make amazing stuff with them, right? And we've been doing that for generations. And we're really, really good at art. We're good at music. We're good at singing. We're good at canvas art. We're good at breakdancing. We're good at DJing. Like, we're good at stuff. And so my thought is this: if I was not in this position, and if I was in the Philippines, and if I lived there, and I was really trying to pursue, let's just say, music production, I would literally start with that mentality of, let me make something out of nothing. Let me try to find a local artist that I can take the discipline and time to develop. And if we don't have money or don't have resources, like, we'll make it work. You know what I mean? We'll get a mic and we'll just make it work. And with technology nowadays, it's a lot easier to do those types of things. You know, I would book my own shows. I would, just like what Guap was doing like early in his career, like go out and meet the promoters, find out what the nightclubs are and pitch them the music. You know, I would literally do the things that the successful American executives did. You know, when Puff Daddy back in the day, when Diddy was on his grind, he was literally doing the same thing. He was making something out of nothing, trying to pitch music to the nightclubs, and when they were turning him away, you know, like, who are you, you know? And so we have to do that back home in the Philippines. We got to create some momentum. So we have to step up and create what we want to see. And if we you know, and I'm sure they're doing it, you know, like I'm not fully tapped in to the scene in the Philippines. It's a very healthy scene. I'm more so talking about the underground music producer, rapper community, and it's starting to build, and it's really, really amazing to watch. And I believe that we are on that path. But you know, when you look at America and Filipinos' involvement in entertainment, you see it increasing. You know, there's more of us, but I personally would love to see more. So we really have to step up and you know, help each other out and do this.
That's awesome. That's great. Hopefully we can. Yeah.
I want us to dominate.
Hopefully you guys
can.
Yeah, hopefully we can build that bridge. You know, I mean, in the future, you know, with, as you said, with technology, I'm sure, you know, you can collaborate. You know, in the future, I know you've done stuff with DJ Med when you were here. He's a cat that I go way back with when I started radio. So it was nice to see that you were collaborating with him when you were here the short time.
Oh man, that was such an honor. It was such an honor, and to like for him to have his kids, you know, rap and sing over the track, like, and be in the studio together, like that was like a super memorable like moment for me that I'll never forget, you know. And like that's the kind of stuff. It's like just so much talent out there, and you know, there's just got to be some momentum, and I see it happening. I think we're on our way, and I think it's starting. And Med is one of the best out there. So yeah.
That was produced by yours truly, and Illmind. That was sick. Tell us more about how that came about, how that collaboration was with Drake.
Oh, you're mute.
Oh, you're on mute. There you go.
Zoom problems.
Sorry about that. Yep, there it is. All right, we're good. No, I appreciate the kind words. So that was my first track with Drake. Definitely a turning point for me because, you know, that was produced by myself and Boy Wonder, you know, one of the greats, one of my good friends. And 40 did the strings on the hook part. And yeah, it was our first collab back in 2014. It came out on, you know, the surprise album, If You're Reading This, It's Too Late by Drake. And me and Boy Wonder linked up probably back in, I want to say 2013. We were following each other on Twitter already. That was kind of early Twitter days. And we just DM'd each other like, yo, Boy Wonder, like, you know, love your music. And he was like, yo, Ill, I'm a huge fan. I love your music, you know. And we just started collaborating a little bit. And that was one of the beats that we collaborated on that Drake ended up getting on. So that was a big moment.
Is there? I mean, you guys have a lot of moments. I mean, you guys have been working with some of the big name artists. How about for you, Guap? I mean, you have so many songs. I mean, you also have a song with Too Short. I mean, speaking about the Bay, I mean, how did it feel to have that kind of, you know, person behind you?
It was so cool. It's everything. It's like one of my biggest influences, and we from the same place. So to have like a bona fide regional icon back me, put me on his album, do songs with me, is crazy. It's like a dream come true. Mm-hmm. What else do I want?
Is there any other artists you want to collab with? Is there any other artists you want to collab, even on a I guess in the Philippine standpoint? I don't know if you know any of the hip hop artists here, but we have some old cats in the Philippines, waiting to probably work with you and work with Ill as well. There's so many. The line is going to be long. It's like immigration. Who are some of your collaborators locally and in the US? Who would you love to work with still, if you haven't already?
Honestly, everybody. It's a couple that I got on my list still. Like I made a song with Snoop, but I want to do something in the studio with him because I know our energy is going to be crazy in the studio. I want to work with Pharrell, Chad Hugo. Speaking of Pharrell,
Chad's been in the booth. He's been here a couple, twice already.
I want to get with Chad somehow, some way. I love him so much. Who else do I really want to work with? Me and Anderson have been doing music, but we haven't dropped anything. So I want to do something with Anderson .Paak too.
He's fire right now.
I really like Haley. I really like her. And she's Filipino too.
Yes.
I wanna work with her.
I'm sure you do.
In many ways. Featuring.
Chill.
I know you want to work with her. Who doesn't? I don't sing or rap, but I would love to work with her. I've been trying to slide the
cameraman.
That'll be the hype man. That's a
hype man.
You can bring a water bottle, man. That's fine.
Hey, you could just work the lights on the stage when we come to the show.
Exactly.
Or you get a set.
And I know that what, Toad?
Ill's work with some of the top artists, but who else out there that you see are up and coming that for us to look out for, whether it's a producer or as an artist?
Oh God, there's so many. I mean, I still honestly every day I wake up and I do this, I feel like there's just like a new adventure because there's just so much music that could be made, so many new artists like every day popping up in the Philippines, Filipino and not, like just in general. There's just so many amazing artists that are super talented that I would love to get in with, but there's a lot, man. Like I just dropped a song with Marlon Craft. He's an upcoming rapper. He's awesome. There's so many. I mean, IDK. What about 88 rising artists? Are you a fan of both of them? Yeah, I mean, I love Joji. I love all that. Like everyone, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I know that sounds, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I know that sounds a little cliche to say that without like being specific, but I'm kind of at that point as a producer in my life where, if I hear something that excites me and as long as that artist like is excited to work with me, like I feel like we can make magic and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to try to make that happen, and that's kind of where my head is at, so but as far as like dream collabs, like man, I worked with a lot of goats. I'm not even gonna lie, but future goats, man.
I mean, it's your list. You got the list out there that people would dream of.
I'm trying to work with the goats of the future. You know what I mean? And like, if I can help them tell their story, like that's my goal.
Mm-hmm. And speaking about stories, I mean, you were also part of just because it came out and a lot of people were watching it here is the Hamilton mixtape. I mean, how is it to work on that? Is because that one was on a different level.
It was in
what kind of a question, Sneak?
It was humbling. It was amazing. It was an experience I'll never forget. I'll give you the short version because I know we're running out of time. I met Lin-Manuel Miranda back in 2015. Was it? Yeah, it was 15. And I met him through my good friend Joel Ortiz, and we started DMing each other on Twitter. And this was before Hamilton hit Broadway. It was gaining a lot of steam off Broadway. And he hit me, and I was like, man, Lynn, like, yo, bro, Hamilton's crazy. Like, congrats. Like, appreciate the follow, whatever. And he was just like complimenting me on my music. And we just kind of hit it off. And he was like, hey, let's keep in touch, whatever. So then a few months later, an A&R from Atlantic Records hit me up, and he's like, hey, Ill, we're working on this project with Lynn for the Hamilton album. It's called the Hamilton Mixtape, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, count me in. So that sort of perfect storm happened, and then I ended up producing 4 songs on that album, one of which is my own artist song called the Take a Break remix, which I had a lot of fun doing. And from there, me and Lynn just kept working, like we did You're Welcome on the Moana soundtrack.
Yeah.
And,
oh man, thank you for that. My kid absolutely loves that song.
Oh, sweet.
I hear that every single day. Thank you.
Amazing. He just called me. Lynn called me. He's like, hey, Ill. I was in the studio one day, and he was like, hey, Ill, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in the studio as always. And he's like, I'm working on this like song for Disney. Like, do you want to do this with me? And I was like, hell yeah, let's go, man.
Disney song. Yeah,
it's the golden ticket, man.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, man, Disney pays on time. That's all I'll say.
All right. Good job.
Hey, do you want to mention people who don't pay on time?
Keep that quiet. No, but honestly, like it was an honor. It's really an honor. Like, it's not even about that. Like it allowed for me to become a better producer, and that was what I was really proud of.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And
the guys of Illest Philippines give you a shout out. They say hi. They're tuned in right now. Thank you guys for keeping it locked in.
Mm-hmm. And I know you guys. So we just played your track a while ago. Tell us more about the new single.
Man, that song came out of nowhere. We made that in our first session in New York, and we were at like some random studio in a warehouse in Brooklyn.
It's a little
that's a little dubious, but all right.
You had to go like down some stairs in a hallway to get there. It was weird. It was super weird.
Were you skeptical? With?
We didn't even have a computer.
Were you skeptical at that time with Ill Guap that Ill is taking you down these stairs into a shade factory?
You message anyone, yo, if I don't message in like 4 hours,
I'll send you my pin.
Come get me.
I set it up. So I was feeling mad that I brought Ill to this studio that didn't have a computer.
That was crazy. No, in all honesty, though, pretty much most of the studios in Brooklyn are like that. So that was probably one of the nicer ones, to be honest, because Brooklyn's kind of hood.
Still not going back there.
And was it always in the works that you guys were using the hook? I know that's Sam's favorite song, "Better Off Alone."
It's very
I mean, I played that beat. Guap knew what to do with it, and then I was like, "We should drop. Let's see what it sounds like if we drop the original Alice DJ vocal." Mm-hmm. And it ended up being super turn, and it was like Guap said, it was one of the first song we loaded up, and it ended up being the single. So it was crazy.
What was he played it, I knew it was that. As soon as he played it, I knew what it was gonna be.
That was it.
The lyrics are sounds like you're pertaining to a girl, right? Is this from a personal experience? A girl calling you nonstop.
I'm really talking about girls. Girls can relate a lot, but I'm really talking about people that move to LA or want to be in the industry and get caught up in the lifestyle. And a lot of girls relate, especially girls out here, because they get lost in the sauce all the time. But that's what I really made it for, like people who are moving really fast in their life and not like can't get a grip.
Oh, I mean, it's
Nice.
a great message because you have to really listen to it, and then you realize, okay, that's what he's talking about. I mean, how about the video? Where'd you get the idea for the video? And you being in the bottle.
My director, Chris Simmons, who's Filipino also, we just are down to do crazy stuff, man. I'm tired of like the regular rap videos where we just call up 60 homies and like
have a house party.
Get a house party, get a random car.
Very Pinoy. You know, calling the 60-year barkada, you know.
We got the punch.
Shooting. There's a shooting. Come. Join the shooting.
Yo, I was just saying the next video, a random video Guap should do would be just everyone wearing barong.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you sure? That for sure.
Yeah.
me and my brother still have all of ours too. So I'm ready. I've been ready to whip it out.
Listen, I'm super ready.
Oh, see there you go. So we gotta see him, man. Oh,
There we go.
You got the nice one.
Nice piña barong. Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
that's not off the rack. I see, huh?
I don't think it is. Nope.
Yeah, he got quality.
That's a custom
You
job.
got a custom one. You got a custom.
No, that's not custom. I got that from Megaball.
Oh, damn.
We build it up, and he just, I got it off Mega Mall.
Mega Mall lang yan.
But speaking about getting stuff, is because we talked about everything, like of course working your way up, but the perks. I mean, talk about your some of the perks you get. You guys get like the sneakers real quick. You have your own plug. I mean, what's good?
I got a box from Beyonce. I got on Beyonce socks right there.
There
we go.
Damn.
How does that feel?
Beyonce gave me some socks.
Do you call her and say, "Yo, B,
Thank you for the socks."
How does
Yeah.
I'm just honored to, walk in Beyonce's footsteps.
Exactly, for sure, man.
I like what you said about the sweatpants.
I mean, if you think about it, like, maybe 10, 15 years ago, did you ever think that, like, one of these days Beyonce's going to send me socks? Like, did it ever cross your mind?
Honestly, yes. I thought that she was going to send me socks 12 years ago. For sure.
That's how I got to think. That's how I got to think. One day you're going to be sending me socks. One day you're going to be sending me socks.
I was
We got a
built to get these
question.
socks.
That's great.
We got a question for you, Falcon and Ill. How do you stay focused and not get sucked into the sauce and into the lights, camera, action? How do you maintain that that mindset of, okay, work, girls, guys, I need to take myself out of this, the lights, camera, action, and just focus. Obviously, Ill, you've mastered it, but for you, Falcon, I mean, even though you've been in the industry quite longer as well, but not as long as Ill, how do you cut yourself from toxicity and negativity from the people around you and from the industry, the bad parts of it?
It's hard. It's hard to do. Sometimes I've found myself lost in the sauce because a lot of times you don't recognize that it's your actions that's the problem, especially when you're moving so fast. So I like to do a lot of self-reflection, whether that be meditation, conversations with my manager and my team, prayer even sometimes. Like anytime where you got to remove yourself from a situation and then deal with everything that you're doing in that moment directly is a way for you to check your ego, because it's really ego based too when you really get lost in the sauce. Your pride don't want you to stop, so you don't want to accept that it's time to stop doing something. But it's good. It's also good to have people around. Like I built my team. Anybody on my team knows that they could come and check me about something at any time. Like, hey, in that meeting you shouldn't have said this, or you was too drunk here, or just things like that. They'll correct me, and I allow them that liberty because my life can get wild.
how about the ladies? How do you tell yourself, okay, you know what? Nah, not tonight. I gotta focus. I gotta get my.
Tony has that problem. You know, he can't seem to turn down the ladies like every time.
I haven't figured that one out yet.
I'll get back to you when I find out.
I don't have nothing deep to say. I have absolutely no advice for that one.
I'll hit you up. Okay, I'll hit you up with your Gucci pajamas. I'll hit you. How about you? How about you? You're struggling with. You're a family man right now, so I guess through the years, you know, before you had family.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely washed. You know, like no, but honestly, like I definitely haven't mastered it yet. You know, but in terms of just the lifestyle and what we get, you know, pulled into every day. I'm pretty much with Guap, you know, like a lot of like focusing, you know, when you're working, it's a little easier because you have like a goal, you know, but in those times where things are a little all over the place and you get pulled in many directions, like we turn to the people we work with. So we're like really fortunate to be working with amazing people like our managers and like, sorry, that's my alarm. Like my manager, you know, John.
My alarm is the same song.
Oh, is it?
It's Good Morning, Kanye West.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You're dead ass.
Swear to God,
that's the only way you're supposed to wake up, right?
Yeah, good, Kanye, Good Morning. I wake up to that every morning for like the past 6 years, 7 years.
Yep. Literally since iPhones came out, that's my alarm.
That's the wake up song.
Yeah, that's literally my alarm. That's crazy.
Notice, he just needed one beat. He just like,
and he knew it already.
Yeah. That's literally the best song to wake up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like, for real.
Why wouldn't you?
But exactly. But like no, like for me, you know, like I have a baby on the way. You know, so,
congrats.
My wife is due. Thank you so much. My wife is due in March, so I'm actually going to take like a few months off to just be with them, and then get back to work. But it's a little. I'm very fortunate, honestly. Like I'm fortunate to have this luxury of like working from home and being able to like, you know, be with my wife and now my baby. And I don't really have to travel that much based on my work. But, you know, COVID has obviously changed a lot for all of us. So, you know, when I'm in the studio with different people and everything, it's like those things aren't even really on my radar anymore. You know, I know I'm there for a reason. Like my time is precious and I'm just all about, you know, making good music and enjoying with really good people and, you know, and keeping it moving in that way. And that's it. And just trying to rack these up. And that's it.
And it's great to hear that you know, you guys have people around you and you guys are focused. I know I think you dropped something on YouTube talking about say people trolls, a lot of trolls. I mean, it is what it is on say social media. I mean, how do you guys deal with it? I mean, be it say producers or whoever else, you know, people just dropping, you know, stupid lines. How do you guys deal with that?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You like the hate?
You like it? You like the hate?
Yeah, it's cool. But I'm a person that understands analytics and engagement.
Yeah.
So like if somebody wants to drive up my comment numbers and help the algorithm,
let's do it.
Why not?
Come on, man.
Go ahead. I'm fighting the algorithm just like everybody else. So go ahead and hate on me, please.
You're playing it smart. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Exactly. Comment away.
You want to do the numbers game? Let's get it on.
Driving up my video.
Exactly.
That like actually makes the most sense in the world. Like that's just an amazing way to.
Literally,
I've never
look at
heard someone answer that.
because you're never gonna understand it. You're never gonna understand why somebody said that.
Yeah,
they said it to make sure you don't understand it, or to The definition of trolling is to say something that elicits a response.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
that's what they're doing it for. So it's like, all right, I might even comment back, and then, like I might troll back, or I might pretend to be mad, or pretend to like not get it, just whatever,
just to get the numbers up. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that strategy. I love that strategy that Guap uses, like to, flip it into like an actual positive, because a lot of times the troll comments is just always so bad and so hurtful. And like what I've been personally doing lately is like showing empathy, like trying to show empathy. Like, okay, this person that left this crazy comment on my page or whatever is like probably going through something, because all the happy and successful people that I've met don't do that. So this person must be going through something, right? And then you can go even deeper into the rabbit hole of like mental health and all this stuff. So it's like, at the end of the day, what are you left with? Either you can say something crazy back to them, or you could ignore it, or you can flip it into a strategy that Guap does, which is probably the best option. Or you can, like show empathy and be like, yo, like this could be a kid or an adult or
that's true.
Someone
you never know,
who's just saying something crazy. They probably had a really crappy day, or they're going through something. Let me like try to just show empathy and like keep it going that way, and that usually helps too.
Such a zen approach.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's such a zen approach if you think about it. Like not everybody will have the maturity to kind of deal with situations like that in that way.
And we always talk about that on the show, sometimes like you get a 1,000 comments or whatnot, and it's that one comment from somebody you don't even know that gets
that
to you.
Really affects you.
That a lot of kids, a lot of young guys out there are feeling that because they put so much value on social media. That's
it could ruin your day.
Right.
It could literally ruin your day. But
from somebody you don't even know. From somebody who you don't even know, like who's behind the name, the whatever code name or whatnot.
Could even be a fake account, like it could be one of 5 or one of 6.
Yeah, it's really, really, really toxic. And the thing that I learned over the years about it is if you buy into it, if you read these comments and you believe them, it could really affect you, and it's affecting a lot of people, mostly, people of interest and famous people, right? And so the thing that I learned, like I'm not like mega famous worldwide global, so I don't know what that feels like, but I know what it feels like a little bit. And what I learned over the years is that like if you believe that stuff, you're basically telling yourself a story that's false. You're lying to yourself into this made up belief and this made up story from this person that you don't know, that your brain is making an assumption. Basically, like our brains are trained to, I don't mean to sound deep right now, but our brains are trained to problem solve, right? We're consistently problem solving and trying to figure out what's going on, right?
Where we went wrong or whatever.
For years, it's like we're trying to figure the world out. We've been doing this since we were babies. And so when someone leaves a negative comment, we assume the worst immediately, because that's what our brain wants us to believe. And then you end up believing a story that your brain made up, and it is not even true. And if you live the rest of your life with that belief implanted in your mind, you could do some really stupid things. And that's not a good life to live, in my opinion. So like you just have to take a step back and be like, yo, this is like not real. This is not real. I mean, tap out a little bit,
Nice dropping the juice. Awesome stuff. I want to ask Falcon, so what can we expect from your upcoming album, and how do you feel about being part of Paradising? How's that?
Man, it's tight to be a part of Paradise Rising, and I'm the first artist that they signed to this little venture, just highlighting Filipino artists. So it's super tight. It's super tight. I feel like a pioneer. I feel like I'm at the forefront of this wave, because I feel like it's people like me. And we were talking about her earlier. It's so many people who are Filipino or mixed with Filipino who are now wearing it more like a trophy, a mantle. You know what I'm saying? It's a medal that we displaying. So I'm happy to be a part of a full music program that wants to highlight that. Hell yeah. It makes me feel good about that, which is why we decided to bring the album to them, because I get really personal on the album. I talk about these things. It was there when I recorded the outro, I was crying my eyes out.
Literally,
it was literally just right there in front of a mic at this Airbnb, just expressing myself. I'm so honest in the music. And I'm honest in every way. Like, I'm honest in like a somber way, and I'm also honest in like a really radical, out of pocket way. So we really hit the full spectrum and tell the full story of how I grew up in Oakland. And that's what people can expect. It's really a journey. It's such a complete project. I really enjoy it. I really love it. I think it's my best project to date.
Great. It's wonderful to hear.
It's amazing. The beats are okay, but the honestly, the vocals. No, I'm being serious. Like just Guap brings the best out of. Like, he brought the best out of me. Like, I know I can't. Like, I don't want to be that guy who keeps saying that, but like, it was such a blast making this album with him, and like, I haven't had that much fun in a long time. You know, like, this is the first album that I'm producing in its entirety, executive producing, in a lot of years. I mean, it's been 5 years. The last time I did it was in 2015 with Joel, when the Hamilton stuff was happening. So like, this is Guap is definitely breaking down doors with this project, and it's an honor for me to, help bring his vision to life and be a part of this. And I'm super excited. And at the end of the day, the music is crazy. Like, I'm really, really excited for you guys and the whole world to hear this project.
Yeah. Well, we'll be looking forward to it. I know we got to wrap things up, but before that, how can people follow you, Guap, all your socials and your website, and
how they can add to the engagement, and
yeah, how can the ladies slide a DM from Asia?
Yeah, I'm on every social network, everywhere, as just Guapdad 4000. If you want to find me, just type in Guapdad 4000 and whatever you want, I promise I'll come up.
You're on OnlyFans as well? Are you on OnlyFans?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
am. Damn.
He wasn't kidding when he said every single social media platform.
Hey, you gotta pay to play.
I'm not playing. Yeah, type it in.
There you go.
I'm scared. I'm scared to be a member. I'm scared.
Honestly, Tony, I wouldn't recommend membership for you.
You're not the target market.
Exactly. You're just wasting your money, but
No, it's not for you.
Ask one of your girls, Toads.
Ew, what about you? I know you've got your podcast. Is it the Drop the Loop on Spotify? What else? Where else can people follow you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, my new podcast, definitely go subscribe. It's on Spotify only. It's called Illmind, Put the Loop On. And everywhere, same thing as Guap. Everywhere on social media, Illmind Producer, one word, ILLMIND Producer. And that's, on all the social media. And I'm on Twitch, right? So Twitch, I've been streaming on Twitch, making beats. So we're building an amazing community over there. There's a lot of producers and artists and singers and songwriters over there and just music fans. So I stream on Twitch. I know the time difference might be a little difficult for you guys in the Philippines, but every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm on Twitch. So yeah, pull up, come through, say hi, watch me make beats, hang out with the community. And, that's just something I love to do every week. And yeah, that's where you can find me. So hit me up. And, my OnlyFans is...
I I was this close to believing it. I was like, what? Damn.
I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have
Late
believed
night
it.
show. The late night show.
I already know his username. Ulo.
His secret name.
No, my OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/illmind. Put the lube on.
That works.
All the girls are like, "Yep, I'm going to that one."
Put the lube on.
This is one of the problems. This is one of the problems doing a show with 4 guys. You know what I mean? And then we get 2 more guys on the show. It's just
Too much testosterone.
Yeah,
It's all testosterone, man.
we need one lady. Next time we'll get a lady up on in here. So to cut the
Please.
to cut the testosterone levels. But thank you guys so much. You guys want to say a shout out to anyone? Guap.
Shout out to my grandma. Shout out to my Lola. She's out.
Hey.
I'm gonna show this.
Yeah.
Yo.
Same thing. Shout out to the family in the Philippines, everyone back home, all my relatives. Rest in peace, my Lola. Just passed recently, so she's up there guiding us, and man, just humbled and happy to be here. And hopefully, Guap and I can visit the homeland at some point sooner than later. We would love to go out there and be with the people. So I appreciate you guys so much.
All right. Yeah, we definitely give us a shout out when you get into town, and we'd be more than happy to show you around town.
Yeah, you don't even need to promote anything in the clubs because Tony owns all of them. So, that's fine. Yeah.
You don't have to spend anything. No, your dollars are not good here, huh?
We have some, honestly, Guap and Il, I want to take you to the finest churches, temples.
Yes. And you'll all meditate together as a group. It's a group meditation kind of thing.
Yeah, and we have someone to meditate with you.
Yeah,
we have community. We have a huge community.
I've been looking into
you know what they say in the Philippines, Guap, Il, you can't deny the Pinay. So
It's true.
all right, guys, take care. Be safe.
Thank you.
And,
All right, take it easy.
Guys.